Number one, to solve this one, we need to put the x minus 6 in the middle, and because it's an absolute value, we could equal both 27 and negative 27 because they are both 27 spots away from 0. And then from here, we do a double upside down t to solve it. Add 6, and we get negative 21 equals x equals 33. Number 2 is the exact same way. 2x plus 8 could equal a positive 24, and it could also equal a negative 24. And from here we do a double upside down t to solve it. Subtract 8 from both sides, and I get a negative 32 equals 2x, which also equals 16. And one more double upside down t to finish this off. Divide by 2, and we get negative 16 and 8. Number 3, to find the inverse, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in a y equals. And then inverse means switch your variables. So I'm going to switch my variables. And now I have to solve for the y. So I'm going to upside down t's to get the y by itself. Subtract 20 first. And then my last step is to divide everything by 2. So I get y equals, there's an invisible 1 in front of the x, so that's a 1 over 2, which is 1/2 x. And negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. So this is my inverse. Number 4, we have to multiply the coefficients first. So 5 times 8 is 40. And if I have 3 x's over here and 5 more x's, that gives me a total of 8. So 40x to the 8th is my answer. Number 5, the coefficient 6 over 15. I'm going to reduce that first, and 3 goes into both of them. 3 goes into 6 twice, and it goes into 15 5 times. Then I'm going to look at the variables a. Since there's 5 of them on the bottom, there's nothing to join it or cancel it out, so I'm going to bring those 5 a's down. The b's, there's 5 up top and there's 8 in the bottom. That means when they cancel each other out, I have 3 of them left in the bottom. The c's, these 7 go to the bottom and join, and it goes from 4 of them down there to 11. And this is my answer. Number 6, we are looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give me 72, one of them being the largest perfect square possible. And in this case, it's 36 times 2. And the square root of 36 is 6. And I bring down my times square root of 2. Number 7, I'm going to split this up into 2 easier problems. X to the 6th times square root of y to the 14th. Now we're looking for the square root of x to the 6th. That means what number times itself gives you x to the 6th? Well, that is x to the 3rd. What number times itself gives you y to the 14th? And that is y to the 7th. So this is my answer. Number 18, I'm going to split this up into 3 easier problems. Square root of 12, I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me 12, one of them being a perfect square, and that's 4 times 3, which would give me 2 square root of 3. Square root of x to the 6th, that answer is x to the 3rd. And square root of y to the 15th. I have to break that apart, and I take one of my y's over here, and that's going to leave me with 14 of them here. And the reason I split that up is because now I know the answer to the square root of y to the 14th. That is y to the 7th, and I have to bring down my square root of y. Now this right here is basically my answer, but I need to clean that up. I'm going to put the 2 x to the 3rd, y to the 7th in the front, and my 3 and my y are still underneath my radical. So this is my answer here. All right, for number 9, I have the formula here that we need. P stands for the principal amount, and the principal amount in this problem was you started with $12,000. 1 plus the interest rate, so it's 1 plus, and 7.8%, I need to move my decimal 2 places, so it's 0.078. Raised to the t power, which is 25 years. So I just simply type this into my calculator, and I will get $78,460.35. All right, number 10, to solve the exponential regression equation, or how to get it. Here's the steps on your calculator you're going to need. Step number 1, you're going to click Stat, then Edit, and type in your numbers under L1 for list 1 and list 2. Once you have your numbers in, you're going to hit Stat, go over to Calc, and we're looking for the exponential regression choice. And exponential regression, I believe, is number 10, although it's going to show it as number 0. Once you go there, you should have your answers. You're going to see something like y equals a times b raised to the x. So you're looking for your a and your b value. Our a value on this problem should be 172, and our b value should be 0.988, and then we put raised to the x power. Number 11, how many people are represented in this histogram? It looks like the very first column, there's 14, the second column is 10, the third column is 7, the fourth column is 5, and the last column is 6. So I would simply add all those up and I would get 42 people are represented. For number 12, it says, how many people spend under 40 hours? Well, right here's the 40-hour mark. So that would mean 5, 7, 10, and 14 spend under 40 hours. And when I add those all up, I get 36 people. Number 13, how many guests are represented in this box and whiskers plot? Now, a box and whiskers plot only divides the guests up into 4 groups. We cannot see how many are in each group. So for number 13, it is impossible to determine how many people are here. We only know that there's 4 equal groups. Now, number 14, what percentage of days have 55 guests or less? So here's where 55 is. There's 25% in that group. There's 25% in that group. 25 here and 25 here. So when we're looking for below 55 days, well, that's 3 groups. So that's 75% of the people are below it. For number 15, we're looking for how many guests are 45 or more. Well, right here is 45, so that would give us 2 groups of 25 and 25, and that's a total of 50%.